Stage 4 begins. Watch out for those giant mallets, getting hit means an instant game over. Right at the start, we've rescued a hostage. Let's just call them a hostage for now, instead of little brother or little sister. Because honestly, you can't really tell. It's an 86 game after all, so the graphics are pretty dated. Yeah, this stage is actually quite tough. I bet back in the day, a lot of players couldn't beat it not because it was too hard, but because they literally got lost. Now, we've picked up the armor. This thing is amazing. It makes you immune to the bones thrown by the skeletons and bullet attacks. Think about it, we're immune to water drops, falling rocks, fire, and now bones and bullets. Once you max out these power-ups, you basically become an absolute powerhouse. That's why I always say, purely from the enemy's movements, this game isn't hard at all. The puzzle-solving elements are what's tricky. Now we've grabbed a key. And look, the classic Vic Viper ship from Gradius popped up. That's a neat little hidden Easter egg. A lot of these maps look pretty familiar. I mean, who would have thought back in the 80s that Thanos would appear in this game? Wait, no, not appear here, I mean he appeared in the movies later. Chief Brolin. Now we've got the slingshot. You see, when you encounter a scene like this where there seems to be nothing ahead, you absolutely have to go explore. You might just find some hidden items. For a 1986 game, The Goonies was definitely a AAA title of its time. Think about it, 1986. What era was that? Contra didn't even exist yet. People were still playing Galaga, Galaxian, and Super Mario Bros. There are two main ways to play this game, speedrunning, or doing a full puzzle-solving completion run. Now we've picked up a backpack. What does it do? It lets us carry 2 bombs at once. Once we gather all these items, honestly, we are practically invincible in this game. Just cruising through. So the only challenge left is exploring and solving the puzzles. What are the diamonds for? Collect 8 of them, and you refill your health. As for this Tanuki character, I have no idea what it is, and I couldn't find any info on it. This here is a health potion. Now that water drops and waterfalls can't hurt us, we really own this place. The enemies are pretty brainless too. This stage is a bit tougher though, as some fish will jump up from the water. But with water drops and falling rocks completely neutralized, we can just walk right through. We still can't bump into enemies, though touching them still takes away a bit of health. The map in this game is huge, especially this final stage. It's absolutely massive and by far the hardest. It's also the longest. Now we've rescued another hostage, but we're still short 2 keys. I think players who couldn't beat this game as kids, or couldn't collect all these hidden items, should definitely watch this. This UFO, I have no idea where it comes from either. Couldn't find any info on it. Speaking of which, Steven Spielberg is worth a quick mention. Why did Spielberg get involved? Because he was a huge gamer himself back then, and he was just a young guy in the 80s, right? A few years ago, Spielberg also directed a sci-fi movie called Ready Player One. The imagination shown in that movie is pretty much the same concept as today's metaverse. It's a classic and a great watch. You put on VR headsets and enter a virtual world, well, VR gear, I should say. Even though Spielberg is getting older, his imagination is still incredible. Almost none of his movies miss the mark. Even without big-name stars, even with a bunch of young actors, he can still make a movie look absolutely beautiful. Alright, this stage is done. Now, the area just now was what I consider the actual final stage. Once you hit this connector zone, there isn't much left to explore. Overall, the game's difficulty curve goes from easy to hard, and then back to easy. Once we've collected all these items, we're truly invincible. Why don't I consider this the final stage? Because this last part is just way too simple. There are a few hidden items here that give you a ton of points. For example, that diamond ring we just saw gave us 8,000 points. Blow this up, and a necklace gives another 8,000 points. There's also a crown in this stage. As for this Fukutaro face, I don't know what it is either. I searched a ton of data and found no explanation for it. Alright, got the crown. Now, the only thing left to do is rescue the sister, and the game is basically beaten. It's this door right here. And just like that, the game is officially complete. Let's enjoy the ending screen together. You know, back in 1986, games rarely had animated ending cutscenes. So this game was really generous to give us one. Mikey and the rest of the kids are happily reunited. Watching the sailboat fade into the sunset, this is the Goonies. And that wraps up our full collection walkthrough.